My name is Valerio. I'm a junior and I'm in the writing and rhetoric major here. And I am currently doing my honors in the major thesis. And I started first being interested in writing rhetoric because that's the field that my thesis is in our department. I was first interested way back in my first ENC 1101 class. Dr. Ruzin was my professor, and I had never heard anything about literacy, composition. I just knew I had to take an English class, and I always liked writing, but I didn't know that it was a whole field you could study. And so I took Dr. Ruzin as my professor and was introduced to this whole new field, and I loved it. And I wasn't a writing and rhetoric major at the time, but I still thought it was interesting. I was journalism. I kind of just progressed through, and I took ENC 1102 and went through the first year program. I really liked it. After my first class, I met Dr. Hall, and he asked me if I'd like to be a tutor in the Writing Center. And so at first I was really nervous, and I said no, I didn't think I was ready because I was a freshman about to be a sophomore. I just didn't think I could do it. But then I said yes. I thought maybe I can do this. And so from that, I started tutoring in my sophomore year, and I was really got to know Writing Center research, and I started to really like it. And I saw that was a subfield within writing and rhetoric. And I thought that was just really interesting. I loved tutoring. I still love tutoring. I'm still a tutor there. And so finally, during that time, I decided to switch over. I had been a couple different majors, but I decided to switch over to writing and rhetoric as my major, which was great. And so now I am a tutor and in the writing and rhetoric major. And I didn't really know much about actually doing real undergraduate research at the time. I just knew that I liked what I was doing in my classes. But I thought that research was an interesting thing, and I wanted to know more about it. So this past summer, after my sophomore year, I went to the Summer Research Academy, which is one of the programs that they put on for students wanting to know more about undergraduate research. I think I was the only one who was writing in rhetoric. And so I went and I just learned about the different programs at UCF, the different research programs. I didn't really know where writing and rhetoric fit and what the department was doing with research, but I thought it was cool. It seemed to make a lot of sense to me, like research and writing, since that was so much of what I did in my classes. And so from there, I learned about honors in the major, and I'd kind of heard of it before. I knew what it was, but I didn't really know how it worked and really just didn't know much about it. And so I learned about it at the Summer Research Academy, and I thought that it would be really great. I think it's the oldest and most prestigious, like one of the biggest research programs at UCF. So I thought that would be a really great, just challenging experience for me, a really good experience. So then I thought about what I would do, and it made a lot of sense for me to do Writing Center research, since that was kind of my niche within Writing Center studies, within writing studies. And so I ended up asking Dr. Hall if he would be my chair, which made so much sense because he was the director, and I had already worked with him so much doing research in the Writing Center already, since we all do kind of small regular research projects in the Writing Center as tutors. So he said yes. So then I applied and I got in, and I had no idea at the time that I was the first honors in the major for the writing and rhetoric department. I didn't know that nobody else was doing it before, so I thought that was really cool. From there, we just started talking about what my project would be, and it's still in the early stages. I'm in my first semester of just collecting research, and so I know for now we're talking about learning moments in Writing Center consultations and talking about how learning takes place and what that looks like. And so still collecting research, collecting articles, and trying to figure out really how to narrow down my research question and to really create a project from there. So still in the early stages, but that's how that all came about.